Three major moves are about to shake up the Toronto Maple Leafs, putting the team at a crossroads that could define its future for the upcoming season. Between negotiations involving strategic reinforcements for the offense, important decisions about young prospects, and even rumors that could affect some of the biggest stars in Canadian hockey, this season promises to be decisive for the Leafs and their passionate fan base. If you want to stay on top of everything happening behind the scenes and find out how these changes could transform the team, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single moment of this electrifying journey. Move number 3. Have you ever stopped to think about how far the patience of the Toronto Maple Leafs and their devoted fans can go when such a promising young talent, despite the chances, just can't seem to truly find his place on the team? Nick Robertson, one of the franchise's most highly anticipated prospects in recent years, now stands at crossroads that could redefine his future and the team's future as well. Since being selected 53rd overall in the 2019 draft, Nick Robertson arrived with high expectations, with a talent that seemed made to shine on Toronto's ice. His junior hockey season was simply spectacular, putting him on a radar as one of the NHL's most promising young players. But the path that once seemed clear and bright turned into a constant challenge. Injuries that cut his momentum, the pandemic that interrupted the natural development of so many athletes, and a technical context that never quite fit his style all became major obstacles for the dream. Last season, he played 69 games, scored 15 goals, and tallied 22 points. Numbers that show talent, but also hide a harsh reality. On average, Robertson played just over 12 minutes per game. That's limited ice time, highlighting that he wasn't priority for former coach Sheldon Keefe, nor for the current coach Craig Berube. And this is even more striking considering Mitch Marner's departure, which opened up a significant spot in the Leafs offense. While many fans hope Robertson could fill that gap and grow, everything points to that position going to another player, like Matthias Maxelli, or even a reinforcement that could still arrive in the coming days. Now, the young left winger situation has reached a tense moment. He has filed for arbitration to settle his salary, which means a direct confrontation with management. But this battle may not even happen if Robertson manages to sign an extension before the hearing, or if the Leafs choose to trade him, paving the way for him to seek a fresh start with another team. What does this situation reveal about the Toronto Maple Leafs and their plans? On one hand, management seems to be sending clear signals that they want a roster that delivers immediate results and has players who fit perfectly into the coach's system and strategy. Robertson, despite his talent, has yet to prove that he deserves a place in the team's top 6 forwards. This is reflected not only in his limited ice time, but also in his almost non-existent participation in the playoffs, where he played just 3 games last year. On the other hand, for the young player, this could be his last chance to turn things around. If he stays in Toronto, he will probably continue to fight for limited minutes on the 3rd or 4th line, struggling to gain confidence and earn a bigger role. But history shows that a fresh start with another franchise might be exactly what he needs to unlock his full potential and show why he was drafted with such high expectations. This decision carries risks for the Leafs. Letting go of a young talent with potential might seem premature, but it could also be the necessary move to make room for players who are already ready to shoulder the team's burden. For the team, it's a strategic step focused on the present and future, balancing hope and pragmatism. And for you, devoted Leafs fan, the question remains, Does Nick Robertson deserve more time to develop in Toronto, or is it time to make room for new names who could deliver more immediate results? What's your take? We want to hear from you in the comments. Join this conversation that belongs to all of us who live and breathe for this jersey. Move number 2. The Toronto Maple Leafs are on an urgent, almost desperate search for a left winger who can make a difference, a player capable of filling the gap that has remained open since the departure of Mitch Marner, one of the best top 6 forwards the team has ever had. But the question that echoes loudly is, who will be the name capable of bringing the experience, strength, and talent the Leafs so desperately need to get back on the winning track? Last season, Toronto relied on players like Bobby McMahon and Max Domi to fill the left wing role on the lower lines. But those names were never the definitive solution. The team knows that to go far in the NHL, they need a winger who can play in the top 6. A player who not only knows how to score goals, but also has the physical strength and aggressiveness to withstand the intense pace of the playoffs. In this scenario, veteran Nino Niederreiter from the Winnipeg Jets has emerged as the top recommendation from NHL analyst Jeremy Tingley of Leafs Nation. Niederreiter is a player with vast experience, 969 career games, including 105 in the playoffs, and a combination of skill and intensity that could be exactly what Toronto needs. Even in a tough season, Niederreiter scored 17 goals and showed his physical presence with 151 hits. Stats that strongly appeal to Coach Craig Berube, who is looking for exactly this kind of commitment and gritty play in the lineup. And Niederreiter's contract, at $4 million for 2 more years, is considered affordable for a team that still has nearly $5 million available under the salary cap. But nothing will be easy for general manager Brad Treliving. He needs to negotiate with Kevin Cheveldayoff of the Jets to bring Niederreiter over without sacrificing too much of the team's future. Names like Nick Robertson and Bobby McMahon are mentioned as possible bargaining chips to facilitate the trade. But the value of what the Leafs are willing to offer in return is a critical point. Additionally, the Jets still have room to sign free agents, which could influence their willingness to make a deal. Brad Treliving makes it clear. Mitch was one of our top 6 forwards, and we haven't filled that gap. That's really where our focus is. This statement shows that Toronto is determined to invest heavily to fill the void left by one of the team's greatest talents. Meanwhile, Matias Maxelli, a young winger acquired from the Utah Mammoth, represents a promising but still uncertain bet. Maxelli faced difficulties last season, scoring 8 goals and 10 assists in 55 games. Modest numbers for someone who wants to shine in the NHL. However, the player himself shows confidence in his growth. I know I'm a better player than I was. I know I still have potential. Now I just need to show that to people again. More than that, he has already declared his desire to play for the Leafs, proving that the motivation is there. The Toronto Maple Leafs, therefore, face a dilemma: bet on the experience and physicality of Niederreiter, with his proven ability in decisive games, or invest in the development of young players like Maxelli, who could become stars but still need time and opportunities to grow. The fan base feels this tension and waits for news that will bring hope. Who will occupy the top left wing spot next season? Will management be able to close this deal with Winnipeg, or will betting on internal prospects be the way forward? These questions will only be answered in the next chapters of this saga. We want to hear from you, Leafs fans. Leave a comment, share your thoughts on this situation. Would Niederreiter be the missing piece? Or can Maxelli's youth and upside surprise everyone? Your opinion matters and helps strengthen this passionate community. Move number 1. The The future of Connor McDavid, one of the greatest talents the hockey world has ever seen, is more uncertain than ever. Captain and star of the Edmonton Oilers, McDavid recently faced one of the biggest disappointments of his career with a painful loss to the Florida Panthers in the 2025 Stanley Cup Final. Now, as he tries to recover from the heartbreak, rumors gaining traction promise to shake not only Oilers fans, but the entire league. What if McDavid, once his contract ends, decided to wear the Toronto Maple Leafs jersey? Connor McDavid is more than just a player. He's a legend in the making, a phenomenon who carries on his shoulders Edmonton's hope of finally bringing home the Stanley Cup again. However, the recent loss left deep scars. The Oilers came so close, only to watch the title slip away once more in a clash that brought back painful memories of the previous year. For fans, the dream seems postponed, and for McDavid, the challenge is even greater: to stay motivated, overcome the heartbreak, and prepare his body and mind for yet another battle. Meanwhile, off the ice, McDavid's name is surfacing in speculation, stirring up the NHL behind the scenes. Journalist Adam Gretz from Bleacher Report pointed out that even though Toronto already has its star and number one center, Austin Matthews, the chance to have McDavid available will be a rare event, nearly impossible for the Leafs franchise to ignore. After all, bringing together two of Canada's greatest talents in the country's biggest hockey market is a scenario that sparks dreams and fuels heated debates. Matthews is a Toronto fan favorite, born and raised in the Greater Toronto area, and McDavid, also Canadian, has a strong emotional connection to the region. Gretz highlights that for the Leafs, this would be a unique opportunity to add a player with McDavid's caliber and popularity, someone capable of transforming the team and maybe breaking the curse that has haunted the franchise in its quest for the title. But for now, McDavid remains silent. He hasn't publicly commented on his future or the rumors, preferring to focus on the present alongside his wife Lauren Kyle and family in Edmonton. This time away from the spotlight is vital for him to regain his strength and come back even more focused for the next season. His relationship with Lauren has been crucial for his emotional balance, especially as he supports her in her entrepreneurial journey. Last year, the Oilers seemed to have everything they needed to win that long-awaited trophy. McDavid and Leon Draisaitl showcased the power of an unstoppable offense and a determination that thrilled fans. But victory slipped through their fingers, repeating the painful story of the previous season. Even so, the flame of hope remains alive among Edmonton fans, who dream of finally seeing their captain lift the Stanley Cup. What would happen if McDavid really did leave Edmonton for Toronto? For the Leafs, it would be a roster revolution, a move that could take the team to a whole new level of competitiveness and excitement. A partnership with Matthews could create one of the most feared offensive duos in the league. But at the same time, this move would raise questions and debates. How do you fit two superstars on the same team? What impact would it have on the roster's chemistry? And most importantly, how would Edmonton fans react to such a loss? On the other hand, if McDavid decides to stay with the Oilers, he will be reaffirming his commitment to the city and its fans, who are willing to stand by him through his journey of redemption and the chase of the title that has come so close. Now, we want to hear from you, hockey fan. Do you believe McDavid should embrace a new challenge with the Maple Leafs or stay loyal to the Oilers? Leave your comment. Your voice is vital in this story that's driven by passion and dreams. And get ready, because in the next video we're going to dive even deeper into this story, bringing you analyses of both franchise strategies, possible negotiations happening behind the scenes, and the impact this decision could have on the NHL as a whole. If this story moved you, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates. Here, the love for hockey unites our entire community.